until people say that they can actually hear what the heck I'm saying. And we'll go from there. Who's on live now? Notification said it's about building. It is definitely about building. Definitely. What? Chris Stream, that is not like. Hey! Oh, your volume is kind of low. Oh. Speakers. Recording devices. HD web. Hey, why does it say the HD webcam is picking up stuff? Properties. Levels. That should be alright. Let's go see what Twitch has to say. Or the XSplit, rather. Always something. No. What the heck? This was working last time. Should I just shout? Will that work? I can try making that gain a little bit higher. Properties. No. That's recording. Levels. Make it a little bit more. No, I can't do that. Okay. Shouting works. Okay. Well, I can talk a little bit louder. That's all right. We'll see how that works. Sound levels look fine to me. Blah, blah, blah. I think this was your best start so far. God. Oh, that's not saying a whole lot. Clearly the busy copyright name is working out for them. Yeah. Okay, so let's go. It sounds like there's no echo. It sounds like people can more or less hear me. I'll try to make sure this is close without being obnoxious. I am Chris. I'm a programmer on Stonehearth. I work on building. I think almost everyone here knows that, but just in case you don't. I am in the midst, along with a couple others, of doing a top-to-bottom redesign of building in the game. This means everything from sort of the user experience and the UI, all the way down to sort of the low-level guts of what's going on with sort of the building system, building core. Let's see. Last time we were talking about prototypes. Time before that we were talking about the building core. I have spent the last two and a half weeks or so. Oh, wait. Why do you always have titles wrong? Oh, damn it. I got to go and do that thingy. Hold on. Let's go. And if not, Stephanie's going to yell at me if I don't get this right. I just clicked the edit button, right? Yes. Okay, so this is 290. Appeal with Luke and Richard. Okay. Is that what they were talking about? Okay, so if I can reference that, that's fine. Building editor Redux. Sure, that sounds plausible. All right, there. Now the name is up. Okay. So last time was building prototypes, looking at some room stuff. We made some decent progress on prototyping since then. I think Justin is just putting the finishing touches on a first prototype for roofs, which you will not see me demo today. He's still working on that. And then I have actually taken a step away to start laying down a lot of the sort of the pipeline for the actual editor, getting away from some of the prototype stuff. I think we learned a lot, and I learned a lot and answered some important questions, not just on the user experience side, but on the technical side of like between a client and server relationship, between having these sort of higher level of abstraction kind of concepts like rooms and being able to mutate them and doing so efficiently and data going back and forth and then undo on top of all that. There were a lot of different little pieces and parts I wanted to sort of understand and put together. And I got, I think, a decent feel for that in the last last 2 months actually of coding and design. So I'm going to actually demonstrate just a little bit of what I've been working on. So I'll just do that first and we can talk a little bit. So this is going to be not super exciting, but hopefully you'll start to see a few cute things starting to happen that are at least a little bit promising. So we've got some walls, we've got some rooms, which you've seen before. What is now new is all the little nubs are gone, and instead we have this sort of highlighting thing because like this is how we want to actually go and interact with our items. We want you to be able to just mouse over, have things appear, and for example, I'm going to start to go and like, deform this wall. I'm going to go and deform this other wall, and I'm going to go and like move it around. So we've got that. This is not final, just to be absolutely clear. We are not shipping a product with like floating colored cubes. This is totally programmer art. But it's trying to get across the idea that we're going to have like these little widgets on it, and we're going to be able to go and manipulate stuff using these widgets. And then again, if you'd seen some of the previous prototypes, like the widgets were just everywhere. It was all these little boxes all over the damn thing. It looked terrible. So this looks, I would say, less terrible and hopefully more suggestive of what we're actually going to be doing. And then, of course, it's a selection thing, so I can actually click on it and it selects, and I can shift click, and so I can start to go and move things around as well, which is kind of vital. You'll notice actually when I click and shift click, the little pink ones, cursors disappear. We're going and we have to do, we want to be able to select lots of different things and move them around and whatnot. So you need a mechanism to sort of cull what options are available amongst the union, or the intersection of, or the options, I should say, of all the things that you've selected. So that's a thing that's in here. So of course I can go and I can select like a room, and I can move the room around as well. You probably saw the yellow bit, so of course I can go and I can drag this up and down, and I can drag this guy up and down. And I can, of course, shift click, and I can drag both of them, so we can actually, do a couple things at once, which is kind of nice. Why is it floating in air, Chris? Why does it move around? I had this great idea, and I say that because it was a terrible idea, that I would have a big selection box around stuff, and it's as you added more and more things, you'd have this nice big kind of rectangular outline of what was going on, and that was going to be the hint to the user of how things would look, and it'd be nice and intuitive. And then I started trying it out, and I realized that the damn boxes move everywhere, and because this would always be centered, so you'd know where to click, and it was just a terrible idea. There is a reason that 3D Studio Max and Maya, when you group select, the very first widget that you did select is the first thing that you actually that you anchor all the controls to. It doesn't move around. It's a constant thing, so you don't have to guess where stuff is going. Questions and comments. Yes, functionally ugly. Yes, that is a good description. And you drag a floor without selecting everything else, and it brings attached. Yeah, seriously, it's a little bit disappointing that this is mind blowing. That, oh my god, I can drag a floor around and it brings the room the walls with it. But that's where we're at. We're getting there. You can actually see some holes, by the way, in here. That was me testing out, making sure that I can put holes in stuff, and I can drag the walls around, and I can drag, and the hole remains there, and does sort of the nice thing that you would expect this to do. So if I drag this guy on top, it removes that section of the room, and so the walls are preserved, and I can move those walls around back and forth as one would like, and I can remove them out, and we still have a little bit of that hole left over because that's where you sort of did your intersection. Yeah, so that's, I mean, you've seen this before, I guess. This is kind of the basic thing. We can give you the real-time feedback of what's going down, before you actually place and move things around. Will we have colorful floors? Yes, Story. This is all gray. This is materialless just for a reason. Just adding materials isn't that hard, but at the same time, there's all these other things that we want to be able to do. And then, of course, on top of all this, actually, this was tricky. This was sort of the bulk of the work of the last, I guess, 2 or 3 weeks, was it's not just getting functionality down, but okay, when I'm moving this around, what's happening? I'm just editing this on the client side on sort of the local copy that's running on the client. I'm not actually transferring any data to the server. Once I let go, we transfer this command to the server that says, oh, you took this room and then you moved it, and then that went and goes and mutates everything on the server, and then that actually sends data back. So this whole loop going on between sort of the client and the server. And then creating, out of that loop, you're extracting all these sort of little atomic elements of I moved a room, I added these walls, I deformed this thing, I deformed that other thing, hoping for undo, which is exactly where I'm going with this. So we can, of course, undo every single one of these interactions. The whole thing is built around undo. In fact, I can even undo the creation of these items in the initial building test. Yeah, so that's super important. It had to be there from day one. If you've used Stonehearth, then you know that our undo is not exactly awesome. It forgets things sometimes. It kind of drops the ball every now and then, and it does so by throwing up an exception and then blowing up the entire world. So yeah, this had to be like, let's get this right. Yeah, okay. Celestia says this is what I want. Yes, exactly. No. It's this is the idea. Like, okay, this has to be right from day one. We have to get the structures correct. And of course, there's redo, so I can go right back to where I was before. And this is all actually quite efficient. It took a little bit to kind of get that to work, where you send sort of this packet of data to the server, and the server diffs that packet of data against its current one, and so it efficiently updates only the fields that are changed. Then it sends that back to the client, and the client compares that with sort of the actual visual representation, and then does an efficient diffing of that so that you can figure out where the walls are going, and rather, so you're not blowing up every single wall, all the renderable entities, all the, like, you can imagine this is a trivial scene, but if you had like a big castle, and if you moved, a wall, and you let go and you had to regenerate all the walls, like, you're dead in the water. It's going to be a terrible experience. So making sure that, like, from the get-go, performance is an important concern. We got to get this right. We got to make sure we're not communicating constantly with the server, telling it you're moving the mouse and whatever. It's like, no. We decouple all these things nicely, and then we get good stuff happening where, like, another cool thing, again, this is just a technical thing, but I'm really happy about how it worked, is between adding a room, mutating a room, you didn't see that. Actually, I know exactly what this is. And if you hang around, I might fix that on stream. We'll see what happens. Between adding a room and moving things around and then mutating them on the server and coming right back, all of that is handled by exactly the same code. It's in 3 different places. Like, you have to do sort of a client local creation of a room, and then there's like the editing of the client-server relationship, and then the actual server mutation. All of it's just in one location, and then you go and just write it once, basically. Like, I write room mutation in one location, and then it gets shared in all these places, and everything kind of just works nicely. And it was satisfying. It was like, okay, I'm on the right track because that's working well. Yeah, throw it in the repository. No, we're not going to happen. What happens with autosave? Yeah, this is undo the saving. In fact, all the undo stuff is individual for each building, so you can undo arbitrarily within a particular building without having to undo structures that happen in other builds and other stuff. So, like, it all just works the way you would expect. There's no crazy surprises. Okay, I know this is likely far off, but I'm wondering if you're planning to be able to drag something up or down. Yeah, that is a really, really good question. And for some stuff, it's really, really, like, this should be straightforward for these walls. Like, the walls are they're not as interesting and kind of complex as the rooms are. The rooms sort of have to know what level they're on in order to figure out what other rooms they're going to be interfering with. Yeah, but, like, you're definitely going to be like, oh, I made a room, I populated with the stuff over here. I actually didn't want it over here. I want to put this on, like, the top level. I think for stuff like that, we might have, it's not going to be a drag per se. I think you're going to want, like, a copy and paste of some kind. You're going to want something where it's not, like, yeah, because you don't want it floating in midair. That's going to look ridiculous. So, yeah, we have, like, we know we need that. We haven't done anything yet. We haven't thought too much about it yet. But that's definitely, like, yeah, it has to have that. Like, it would be ridiculous if you go and you put all this work into, like, constructing something on one floor and being like, oh, I want to put this on another floor. Yeah, so that's gonna, yeah, we'll definitely get to that point. But that's basically, oh, yeah, and of course, if you want to see the brand spanking new UI, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we're shipping tomorrow. We got a new room, a free wall. We're going to do room unioning soon, and then a whole tool. Yeah. This is it. This is the beautiful. Okay, obviously it's not. But yeah, and then just testing out, like, I can do unions again. Oh, actually, wow, it's really broken. Okay, I'm definitely going to fix this on stream then, if you guys don't mind. How will furniture fit? Yes, that is totally the idea. Is in addition, in fact, that's actually one of the key things about the whole stuff, was like, okay, the whole is represented as this thing that we stick into a wall. It's not even like you need to logically remember that there is a hole there and what its sort of dimensions are, so that when you add and remove walls, it sort of behaves accordingly. And so that was a really nice test for, like, okay, that's how a hole will work. Well, if I'm putting something on a wall, for example, then I need to, it's almost the same thing. It's like I have this thing in this sort of location, it's attached to this particular wall. We have to be a little bit smarter, for example, when you start to deform, let's see if this will break. It doesn't break, yeah. Yeah, and you can see it remembers, in fact, just to nail home this point. Like, I've totally shrunk this wall, and, you know, it's gone, and then I just bring it back, and, like, it's still there. And that's the kind of interaction we want, you know, for like, I have a lantern over here. maybe we'll just push the lantern when we push that wall with it, and then you kind of bring it back, and maybe it sticks around the old position, or it'll go with the new one. But the idea is, yeah, it's not just a place for walls, it's not just a place for floors, but you're going to have all of these little bits that are going to be associated logically with the room, so that you can move them around and basically have a lot of fun with them that way. I know it's a long shot, but we'll be able to make edits mid-construction. This function was available for some time, then got stripped away. No, the function was not available for some time. The function was accidentally allowed due to terrible, terrible attention to detail. It should never have been in there. For the new building editor, the idea is to get to that point. We will be approaching that sort of in stages. Yeah, like the whole redesign of this is like what will happen? You can imagine, for example, maybe I go and I draw out a wall, okay? And I'm like, just a simple wall, like one of these guys. And I decide this is what I want. So I go and I click on it, I'm like, yeah, build this wall. And then the Hearthling, the poor starving Hearthling, yeah, deal with it, don't worry, you'll be deinstantiated shortly. The wall, they start to go and build it, and they start putting blocks in there. And then I pause it halfway through. And I say, you know what, I really don't want that. What I actually want to do is I want to go and I want a wall that's like 4 more units, on this side. And what you can't see, I'm holding down the mouse button right now. I'm about to let go. But you have a situation in that case where I've paused the building, edited the blueprint, dragged the wall, about to let go. 4 different things are going on. The first thing is you have a structure in the universe that has been partially built. So you have the actual voxels that the Hearthling's going to interact with. Then there's this portion of the structure where the structure knows what it's supposed to look like, which was the original plan for the blueprint that you had. Then there's the actual blueprint, which you are interacting with right now, and then there's this preview of the blueprint that you're interacting with, which is going to be, the moment I let go of my finger right now is the new blueprint, which no longer matches the old structure, which still doesn't match the original block, or the actual blocks that have been put down in the universe. Doing this in the old system would basically be suicide. I don't know how you could do it. It's way beyond my skill as a programmer to fight with that code to install something like that. The fact that we have this separation and we can think logically about what is built, what it's supposed to look like, what the blueprint says it's supposed to look like, and what you actually want it to look like, and we can represent all of these things simultaneously, means we can get to a place where we can do those edits that, I forgot to put in an opening for my stairs or something, and or I need to knock down a wall in order to join these 2 rooms. We can do that by maintaining all these representations, these mutually exclusive almost representations, or maybe not exclusive, these orthogonal representations at the same time. So that's the short version, or the long version. Yeah, the short version is we want to get there. Don't expect that immediately, but we're paving all the roads and we're putting all the plumbing in, so that is absolutely an achievable thing. Let's see what else is here. Why was it decided to backpedal and have the floor play? Oh, this is don't read anything into this. This prototype, or not prototype, moving away from prototype, but this is just how I wrote this at the time. I didn't want to have to deal with mining regions and stuff like that. Although that said, I know Ali was talking a little bit about do we actually want sunken floors or not? And then sometimes that looks cuter and sometimes it doesn't. People do want if this is a doorway, for example, there are people that think it looks cute, but also the fact that it doesn't line up with the ground kind of doesn't look so nice. So I would like to kind of roll all of that into eventually something that would be able to support here's my plan. I want to sink this 4 units in the ground. I want to be able to go and or maybe 4 units in the ground, or maybe I want to put 4 units inside a cliffside over here. Again, no firm ideas on when that's going to happen. We'll probably, but the idea is to kind of at least make sure these concepts are nice and orthogonal and kind of pulled apart so that we can go and support less specific stuff than the floor must be sunk exactly 1 level in, and that's the only way floor works. No. We have the right structures now. We have that flexibility. We'll see where we go with it. I suspect we'll be very conservative and we'll just go with the floor sunken at first, but expect more power as time goes on. Let's see what else. What would happen if you just go entirely through the building instead of just an indent? You mean if I dragged one of the walls? So 2 things. Right now, yeah, that'll totally screw this up, but that's only because I'm not taking full advantage of the sort of the power of some of the stuff that I'm using. I'm actually, the way this all gets represented is with a polygon, and it's actually this really nice library. It's a boost geometry polygon, so it's part of the boost standard library. There's another boost polygon, which is a flaming pile of crap. It's one of the most useless things I've ever used. This is actually really, really good. This implements a ton of functionality, seems to do it pretty efficiently too, at least for our means. But it absolutely supports like polygons that get cut in half and polygons that have holes in them. So yeah, right now it'll just be like, what are you doing? But as soon as I just go and sort of unlock that support, yeah, we'll just split rooms in half and do stuff like that. Shouldn't be too bad. Shouldn't be too bad. I'm seriously hoping that's just for the prototype. They've confirmed that's the direction they're going in forward. Yeah, exactly. I just get my building step ups. Yeah, I feel like that. Yeah, and exactly. Some people do like the steps, and some people don't. So, like, this shouldn't be too hard to go once we have, all the right pieces in place. Main idea, things can be modified until the actual building grows to that point. So, yeah, yes and no. So if a part of the wall is completed, you can make it shorter, less height than the actual part, but you can make it, you can make it taller or longer. You can't make it shorter or less height. So I don't know about that. We really want to be able to support, like, I made this room too large. Let's go and let's shore it up a little bit. Or, what will happen is, I put too much stuff in this way and it's colliding over here, and now, the hearthlings can't get through. If you imagine, this was moved a little bit. Those are bad situations too. We want to be able to support mutating it in pretty much any way. There are some very tricky bits to get to kind of figure out there, and I suspect there might be a little bit of cheating, especially when you try to go and change something that is in a location the hearthlings can't even access anymore. So we're going to have to figure out what to do there. But this is definitely not about just making, being able to go and stretch something a little bit taller or wider. You should be able to knock holes in walls. You should be able to go and actually, significantly change the way that your building currently looks as constructed. Building inside mountains, yeah, I want to get there. That's part and parcel to sort of some of the underground stuff. Not anytime soon, but hopefully. Is this hearthling building AI good enough to support them building things like this? Yeah. This is very, very, the current hearthling AI can build this, but the new building system can build almost anything we throw at it. There's a couple of corner cases that haven't been supported yet, and it's pretty clear how to support them. It's just a matter of kind of putting in the engineering time. So yeah, you mean demolishing voxels instead of demolishing the whole building? Yeah, that's basically exactly what we're talking about. And it's a good question how we're going to accomplish it. Like, if you have a huge wall, are they going to go and build scaffolding up the whole thing and then tear down the couple little bricks at the top if they have to do that? Or, could we support a thing where they just kind of do some dynamite-y thing and then the annoying voxels kind of just drop away? The cases that I think about that annoy me, that keep me up at night when it comes to that sort of thing is again this thing where you're like, I wanna remove this part of the structure, and it's not even accessible anymore. I did a thing, and maybe there's an overhang, and the hearthlings can't even get to that. They would physically have to either, put ladders in a huge number of places, which is at least plausible now, or actually blow up other walls to get to the wall they want to blow up. So what do we do then? Can we inform the user? Probably. Are there other things that we might look at? I think that's a thing that is as much a gameplay consideration as a technical one. So yeah, I think that's the lowdown on kind of everything that I wanted to talk. Did you say we'll be able to make half-suspended buildings on the edge of the cliff? Yeah, absolutely. No problem. Modding-wise, people have made completely custom windows and doors. Will those mods have completely... So as far as template backwards compatibility is concerned, we should definitely be able to get you there. Everything. If you have custom windows, custom fixtures, fixture code should actually be exactly the same, I think. I don't anticipate any major changes there. There might be some logic changes into how we place them, but that I don't want to go and change any of that. I think that's okay. As far as the old templates, I think it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be if you had in the old system, if you drew out a floor and did it grow walls and put a roof on it. We're not going to be smart enough to be able to say, okay, you've got this floor, you've got these walls that you grew on top. Let's turn that into a room. That would probably work 85% of the time, or even 95% of the time. And then there's going to be this 5% case that's just going to be super killer, and we're going to get it wrong, and you're going to be frustrated, and I'm going to be frustrated. I think the easier thing, and so I've talked about this before. where the new slab tool, the blocks tool, that you basically will be using to build sort of arbitrary voxel structures, will be able to support sort of applying a semantic to it. So you can say these number of voxels, these blocks over here, they are walls, and so they're normals pointing in this direction. So you'll know, so the system will know to like have them disappear. And these blocks over here, these are roofs, or this is a roof, I should say. So this disappears and functions like a roof does, and this is a floor over here and whatnot. And so I think what we'll do is we'll just run through the template, convert every single thing into slab, and then assign it the semantic of the original, of what the original sort of template decided it was. So you won't get all the fancy pants, like you won't be able to like drag the walls and stuff like that. But you'll at least have the old template. You'll be able to kind of use the voxel tools on it, and it'll still function sort of, again, semantically equivalent to what it was doing before. Yeah, especially with larger builds. Build temporary supports. No building temporary supports. That is going to be, that is a non-goal. That is the exact opposite goal. We want this to be automatic, and so far so good. So, chopping and terrain. Some cliff sides have bumps on shorter walls. We'll dragging over these chunks out those parts of the terrain. So again, that kind of comes down to how we deal with, actually putting objects inside walls, and how we actually kind of like enable people to hollow out like mountainsides and stuff. It's actually a tricky general problem. If you imagine you have like a like if you just have a simple house, if you have like this, if you have like just this block, and like you put it inside the terrain, you could easily imagine us go and like, okay, we're just gonna sort of take the bounding box of this thing, we'll wrap like this, like a hull over it, and then we'll just go and we'll intelligently kind of come up with a mining region that like opens up around it, so you can kind of just slide it in there. What happens when you have something really strange with like lots of non-convex pieces, and you have like, one wall that does this, another that does that, and then you have like a covering over here, but not over here? We have to be careful about trying to be able to handle all of these cases when some of them are like, kind of need a human to tell us exactly what you want. So the answer there might even be something like, I don't know, some sort of advanced UI for like, I want to be able to take this thing, slide it in, and then do like some sort of subtraction, and like I don't know, like some additional tool that you can sort of have some input on that allows you to kind of figure out what you want to remove. We haven't had a lot of talk, not a lot of thinking on there yet. Yeah, it's definitely something I want, but no hard and fast kind of ideas for exactly how we want to do that yet. When making this new design editor, could there be support for rooftop items such as skylights? Yeah, so like the hole in the wall thing here is part of the sort of the demonstration. This is just an ordinary wall, and we just cut some arbitrary voxel holes. This is not like a fixture. This is not some specific thing. You're going to actually have a hole tool if you want. If you want to go and like noodle and make holes in walls, you can do that. By exactly the same token, roofs should function that way as well. So you're like, oh, I want a hole in my roof over here, and I want to put this chimney over there. Yeah. You'll just be able to go and just like place your stuff there and do it, and it'll. Oh. Let's throw them a bone, shall we? Oh, I don't have my debug tools. Yeah, you're screwed. Sorry, bud. So that's the idea. Is like everything can be kind of treated uniformly, so that you can go and like just add stuff to wherever it is you want, and there's no particular restrictions because this is somehow magically a roof, and things get weird as a result. Gameplay-wise, nobody questions how ladders are built, and that's pretty much just magic. I don't see much reason why buildings being made that way would be questioned or immersion breaking. It certainly would be a massive change to, like have a hearthing kind of walk up to like a giant castle and kind of hammer on the side of it, and the castle appears. That's kind of not where we've gone. That's kind of not where we're about. It's definitely an angle some people could approach, but I don't think it's one we're going to be taking. They used to require wood that would be retained when they took down the scaffolding. Yeah. So definitely hearthling abuse. I'll just quit at some point, and then they'll come back. Yeah. So in fact, there's actually a couple things I want to try specifically with respect to building speed. The new building system uses a lot less scaffolding, which is really nice. But I think we can do a lot more to kind of like counteract some of the time that gets sunk into the scaffolding. you can, something I was thinking of was like, if you'd be able to go and like just have like, in the same way that you can build like columns right now in the game where they just sort of hammer on the ground in front of the column, you could hammer on the ground in front of, a wall-like thing that is like, wherever, one width by, some height and some length, and up to a certain height, say. And that way you wouldn't have to build scaffolding layer by layer up to get, these additional pieces. You could just sort of put the whole thing up, do another layer of scaffolding very quickly, put another, sort of big chunk of wall up. We're definitely going to be playing around with a few things to make sort of building reasonably and predictably fast that isn't nearly as dependent upon sort of some of the vagaries of pathfinding to scaffolding and whatnot. Comrade Headclot. I am new. Is this game moddable? Yes, my God. All of it is or almost all. Not that there's an internal C++ layer that is obviously not moddable. Everything else is Lua. Everything else, like UI, AI, logic, the building system. Everything here you're seeing is basically done in Lua. So yes, lots and lots and lots of modding stuff. Are we going to be able to raise foundation eventually, making it solid and thick, how we'd normally do before laying down floor? The nice thing about this is like it's pretty arbitrary. Like if you want to just add like a layer on the floor before this, you can totally do that. If that's what you're referring to, I think. Raise foundation. I'm assuming that's what you mean. If not, you can post a clarifying comment. Because a new wall size could be too small and don't allow placement of this piece of furniture. Oh, sorry, I missed the original question here. What if something hangs off of a wall and we make it shorter? Yeah, so certainly I've tried to take some inspiration from like The Sims, for example, and what they do, where like as you kind of move stuff around, it gets pushed with the wall. Like so, if you lower it, it gets pushed in this direction. If you kind of push a wall in and out, it'll get kind of pushed in that direction or pulled if it's attached to the wall. I suspect we will go for very very similar semantics. Kind of whatever makes sense. Yeah, so like that's the idea, and up to the point where the thing no longer even physically fits. The Sims does this great thing actually, where they have this sort of little bar, this little like a temporary kind of folder, where it's like, oh, you had this thing, you wanted to put it on there, we couldn't fit it in the location you wanted it, so we're taking it off and we're putting it in that little drawer, kind of, so you can come back to it and deploy it again. I think that's great. You definitely want to like inform the user and have like a nice little UI that shows the thing sort of like vanishing and kind of appearing in this little drawer somehow. But I think that's there are some things where we'll just have to do that, where like, oh, we literally don't have the space for this anymore. There's no valid position we can find for this, so get it out of here and put it in there and let the user kind of deal with it after that. Yeah, like some Raya buildings. Like a raised, like when I used to put down 2 to 3 block up layer of slab. Yeah, okay, if you just want like a raised floor. And then putting upstairs. Yeah, I mean, you can basically do that now. At least I think you should be able to. You can put slab down and then put floor on slab. And, oh, you probably can't grow walls, maybe. Or something ridiculous like that. Yeah, that won't happen. Like, there should be no problem. We're going to have that's actually a thing probably to look at with either the room tool or just a dedicated floor tool where, you have a floor that kind of still functions kind of like this, where you can kind of break pieces up and push and pull nicely. And then we'll... but without any walls, I should say. So you'll just have like this sort of floor thing, and then you can just, you can do whatever you want sort of to your heart's content, and then you can put walls on top of that or put a room-like structure on top of that. Yeah, so that shouldn't be, that's totally straightforward and absolutely supported by this. Okay, I want to go and fix that bug. And also this hearth thing is almost dead, and I don't want to see them die, so there they go. So I was in the process of doing this just before we started. And I think it was related to, what was the problem? I think it was related to actually laying down a new room that's here, and then I think moving this in, doing a bunch of undos, oop, go away, and then doing a bunch of redos, and then, nope, it's around here, come on. No, don't work now, come on. Let's go and delete it again. Oh, there we go. Yeah, register widgets, and then your room widget 1 or 2. Let's find out where that is. Oop, I don't want to, sorry, get the questions back here. Let's just do that. Hopefully that'll, oh, guys just says, if I want to build a floating castle, no, don't do that. Don't build a floating castle. Oh, God, please. Well, I have to deal with crap tons of scaffold to be built up to it, or they intelligently build the floor first and use that to build the rest of the floating castle. Like, okay, hold on, are you meaning this is going to be situated somewhere? Like it's not completely floating, like there's an actual, like there's like a leg somewhere or something like that. If that's the case, then they'll probably have to do scaffolding for some parts of it. They will, basically, scaffolding is required if no other structures currently exist that allow them to get access to the kind of adjacent region of the thing they need to be able to build. So I think, so there's sort of two answers to your question. Build on a stone pedestal and mine the ground out. Oh, don't do that either. Damn it! No, there's actually nothing we could do to stop you from doing that. Yeah, you could totally do that. Please don't do that. Yeah, so there's two things. If you're referring to the current system, the way the current engine works, where we have you will see floors getting broken up into these tiled sections, or like these 16 by 16 sections. And the hard things are stupid as hell, so what they do is they build scaffolding around the perimeter of all of these sections, and that doesn't happen anymore. They are smart enough to realize that, oh, wait, I can totally reach this from this other flooring that I already built, so we don't build any of that scaffolding, it's all reachable, and they just lay it out. So if that's the behavior you're specifically referencing, you should see that gone in the new system. But that said, depending on exactly if you build some crazy, thing that's mostly floating and there's like a central column, you'll certainly get at least an initial ring of scaffolding around as they try to reach sort of the exterior walls if they're building those first. And then once the flooring goes in, you probably will see fairly sane scaffolding usage after that. Assuming that's what you're kind of getting at there. You could just have a structural integrity system to prevent floating stuff. Oh God, it's not easy. You have to do a lot of potentially awful kind of reachability analysis to see if there's any kind of structure holding up something else. And the thing is, you can always beat that. You can always have like if it's just like, oh, I must have some path to the ground, then you have like the one wall of voxels that's like hidden off somewhere, and it's like, okay, how realistic is this 900,000 ton castle is being supported by like a tiny little block of like stone or something? And at that point, it's like, might as well not bother. I mean, look at 7 Days to Die system. What is 7 Days to Die? Have you ever asked an architect or an engineer about this? They don't have to build the AI stuff, so I haven't talked to them yet. Maybe you could have some valuable feedback. Yeah, it's really funny you should say that. So I live in Toronto, and I was going for a walk the other day, and I don't know if you've ever seen Toronto's Royal Ontario Museum. Let me pull that up. In fact, let's open up another tab. Oh, do the thing. Come on. Let's show you what this thing, Royal Ontario Museum, looks like. The exterior is interesting, shall we say. This is what the damn thing looks like. Like, this is like this beautiful old like classical building kind of, and then like, oh, I'm gonna put these things here, these horrible things here. Anyway, not to get too far into that. They're doing construction on it. They're doing some work on it. And they're doing exterior stuff. I guess maybe they're servicing glass. I don't know. But if you look, like this is like, yeah, it's even more obvious here. It's really concave. Like it's like all the way like this. And so there's scaffolding, and they have to have scaffolding to get up to here. And it's just this array. Though I saw it, and I was just like, holy crap, they're using the old scaffolding algorithm. Because it is. It's a volume. It's this giant volume of scaffolding. It looks exactly like it was out of Stonehearth. The moral of the story is, if you don't want to see that kind of scaffolding, don't build these complex, ridiculously concave structures. Yeah, so just to say, yeah, architects and engineers, they would probably sympathize a little bit. Crashed spaceship. Yes, that building makes me sad. It makes a lot of Torontonians sad, too. Yeah, it's not great. Any plans to make editing the world without using console commands? Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, because I'm like, wait, we have the IM command and we have this. Yeah, there's always been talk about sort of a diorama mode. or something like that, like a story mode or something where you just build stuff instantly, and you just kind of like put things, AI units and carve out terrain, do whatever you want, and all just sort of happens instantaneously. There's no item usage or item limits or anything like that. Nothing we have like planned now. It's come up now and again, but like you probably won't see that anytime soon. But it would be really cool. I think there would be a lot of neat things to do there. Did you just say what is 7 days to die? Okay, let's solve this now. I can tell when people are going to be like, I can't believe you don't know what 7 days to die is. Let's find out what 7 days to die is. 7. Nope. I know what the number 7 is. Thank you, though, Google. I appreciate days to die. Who is this? Telltale's publishing it. I honestly don't recognize this. What the heck is this? I don't. Yes, I'm fine. Don't show this warning. Just go to the product page. Okay, zombie survival horror thingy. Is there actually a building in this though? Tower defense. Okay. No, I do not know it. I have never played. This is my first exposure to it. Let's see. Sorry, I'm gonna get caught up on the text here. Where are we? I want to make the engine cry. Please don't do that. How does the new engine handle diagonal structures? We don't do anything yet. I may or may not allow that. It's kind of frustrating. We will see. What is timber and stone? Okay, well that I know. There is building based on structural integrity. Okay, well I will definitely check it out. Maybe I can find something that at least shows some building going on. I mean, I know some of the basics. There's this thing called finite element analysis, and you kind of discretize your space. Hey, voxels, isn't that interesting? And then you work out like sort of structural things, and like you can derive like stressors and whatnot. I highly doubt we will get to that point, but you never know. It's something to worry about a little bit later. What prevents the building AI from actually building the walls up? To compare in Minecraft, you can build a wall by standing on top of the wall and walking on top of a new ladder to build a higher level, and stand on that level to build on top of that, etc., etc. Yeah, so I mean, nothing's preventing them per se of doing that. For starters, they can't get back down. Like I should say, when I say per se, I mean like we could absolutely have them do that, but then yeah, they like. In fact, this is actually something that would happen a lot, where they would, if you had two walls next to each other that were both being constructed, they would kind of dovetail back and forth, kind of like exactly in the manner that you were suggesting, and then trapping themselves. They need a way to get back down, and then it takes longer, because then they need to be able to go and like, do they jump down, and then do they pick up like material, and they have to get back up to the top, and like, no, we need ladders, we need ways to sort of like, keep these things accessible. Let's see else. Yeah, do not make the engine cry. I already mentioned that. Okay. They don't let Chris have to play games. I play some stuff. I finally got into The Witcher 3. I'm only like a year and a half late. Well, have them jump. No one's jumping. They said it doesn't fit the overall, but there'll be instruments to build it manually, block by block. What are we talking about? Block by block. Sorry, just reading. Grappling hooks. Yeah, and give them a cute parachute. They have to get back up there. That's the thing, though. Like, you can totally do that. Like, there's a new one. What is it called? Dwarf Corp. There's an open source game, in fact, and they're doing some similar stuff. They're not tackling the building thing, but like I saw some of the screenshots where like they basically just throw material. And they throw material kind of near where it needs to go, and that becomes part of the walls and stuff. And like, there are ways to cheat, but given the kinds of structures that people are building and the kind of sort of verisimilitude we're trying to achieve, it's not going to really kind of work the way we want it to go. When do you think you'll be able to up the max people to above 20? You can do that now. You have to, yeah, in the options menu, exactly. Yeah, just go into settings, and then you can DOS your system as you like. No jumping then, no swimming either. Yeah, we do have a swimming animation. Just no drowning yet, so, they'll get there. I wanted to fix this damn thing. Hold on. I want to know where my error is going. I'll try to answer more questions, but I do need to like write some code, darn it. Room widget 102, what are we going? Room widget 102, your blueprint ID. You think that there is no blueprint, and that's coming from building service, which is registering a widget, which is coming from on new building data. Ooh, I wonder if I'm racing. I hope I'm not racing. That shouldn't be happening. Oops, wrong building service. Building service, client. 95, Yeah. And then we get their controller from there. Oh, were you not a controller, though? That's interesting. And then 102, room blueprint, get controller. That must have been, was that nil? That shouldn't happen. Let's find out about this. This could be interesting. Yeah, and I definitely assert if we found something that was odd. That can't be right. That couldn't have happened. Room widget 102 coming from building 95. Room widget 102. Room blueprint attempting to index local. No way. Oh, man. Okay, that'll be neat. Okay, more questions. Maybe I don't want to work on this right now. Also, always leave a path for enemies to reach or hurt things the game will churn. That shouldn't be the case anymore. If that's still... oh, actually, maybe it is still in the case in combat. There might be some combat-related things where... I thought Albert fixed that. I'll go ask him about that. How long have you been working on this game now? Oh my god, 10,000 years, I think? Somewhere in around there. Between 10 and 20,000 years. No, I started working on this at the end of 2013. So yeah, so we are yeah, my fourth birthday, my fourth Stonehearth birthday was like just over a month ago. So yeah, we've been working on it for a little while. What else is there? There's a roadmap for updates. Roadmap is on the website. Let's see, are we going to the matrix now? That comment law. No, not like this. Yes, exactly. Why did you error out? What should I do? What should I do? Let's go at least try to print out the data. Let's see if we can do that. Log the error. Log radiant. Yeah. Util.table to string. Let's see what you actually look like if you are indeed anything. Although if you're supposed to be... No, but you're a saved... It's supposed to be a data store. No, let's actually just do this. And then we'll see that if we can just trigger this again. And let's see. Build a new room. Do the thingy. Put the thingy down. Put everything back. Grr. Everything works. Frustratingly. Go back. Ain't programming fun, kids? Oh, come on. There we go. Although this looks like a different location now. Lovely. Modify rooms. Mutation utils 210. Okay, mutation utils. Where are you? You were here. Maybe you're not. Mutation utils 210. Oh, is it current room? Why is current room nil? Index field. Yeah. Current room is nil because you don't exist because this is in displace rooms. Displace rooms gets from that. Room for level. Ooh, I wonder who the level was. If it was a temporary level? I cleaned up everything though, don't I? This is how I normally program. I talk to myself a lot. There's a lot more swearing under normal circumstances. Let's see. Wait, you can stretch walls? Not yet. Coming soon. Well, less of a prototype. Starting to get there. Yeah, so when the room is destroyed, we talk to the building service, we remove the level, or we get the level from that. The level sticks around. That's fine. We're not creating a new level for the room. Levels are a logical grouping for rooms, and they help rooms kind of figure out which ones they have to interfere with. Like if you have two rooms like this, they're not going to go and do all the fancy pants, like, you know, kind of Boolean intersections and whatnot. There's a little bit going on there, but not too much. Or there will be once it gets implemented. Okay, so if you are going away, let's go at least print out what's going on here, and then we can at least do the other thing. So let's I'm not logging an error per se, I'm just actually logging the error always prints out for me, so it's the simplest thing to do. Table to string, this is going to go print out the whole damn kit and caboodle. All the current rooms, mutation util rooms for level, that's getting all the rooms for our level. That is what I expect, and then we try to modify rooms, and we were vomiting on the current rooms because ID did not show up there, so we are going to go and log this as well. We'll log the ID of the room we're looking for, and that is one of the ones that was modified. Let's see if we can blow this thing up. Why not have a rubber duck close by? So there is a thing that I learned when I was at Google called talking to the Wookiee, whereby people, this is coming from the search hardcore people team, where they would, they found the thing where, like, when you talk to someone about it, when you talk to just a human being, just the act of linearizing your thoughts into a coherent sentence often gets you to kind of like figure out, how things work and what you were missing and what you need to do differently. And so once they stumbled upon this, they're like, well, look, you don't actually need another person to talk to. You just need, like, a placeholder. So there's the rubber ducky, but the search team at Google has a 6 foot or 7 foot tall life-size cardboard cutout of Chewbacca. And so then they would go and they would talk to the Wookiee. I do not have a Wookiee here. I have more than Solus, but he just sings a lot. And that's the exact opposite of what I need. I need a listener right now, not a singer. So let's see. Do this again. It wasn't actually just, I could do this as well. So that's all fine. And then we go and we do that, and then we do the thing, we bring it all back. This is still working. Oh, so annoyed that this is not deterministic. Hey, Crit, everyone, I built this great new system. It's super reliable and maybe not that reliable. Come on. You know you want to go and error out. Don't hold out on me. There we go. Okay. Good. Modify rooms. Oh, this is a move perimeter walls. Ugh. Okay, I can probably still glean something out of this. Building spew. Okay, I'll have to go put some... Yeah, you're looking for 6. And that looks like... That is room 6. So this was part of the displacement. Right, I did not put that in there. So this is what it looked like before. Why did you think current rooms? Okay, let's do something a little bit smarter than what I just did. Log error. The other logging was doing this. We will just go, since it's a little bit more widespread, I didn't realize, we're going to go and put it right inside modify rooms. We will vomit out everything that you found. Let me just take a peek at this again now. This looks good. Like, room ID is 6, so you definitely exist. You're not a disused. We just didn't find you, which means we went to a level which didn't have anything? That's interesting. That's very interesting. I wonder if there is an actual race here. That's terrifying. Okay, hold on. Are people saying anything? Go to 20. Yeah. So how many jobs will you be adding potentially? I have no idea. Oh, do you go to school? Do you go to school for programming? I went to school for programming. Yes, I did computer science. Hear incorrect logic. I don't know. I actually don't think talking to yourself is a great way to hear incorrect logic. I think it's basically just crazy. I think I'm out of my mind. But I'll take it. I'll take it. I think the linearizing of thoughts is not incorrect, but the fact that it has to be externalized is it's still just weird. Dude, we have the level ID as well. Is there anything weird there? Levels 3. Yeah, there is only one level. There should only ever be one. The level blueprint gets updated. Let's go and keep track of that, shall we? When we actually remove a room, let's go and tell us what happens. table or whatever. We'll do adding and removing, and we'll see what the heck's going on. Radiant till equal to string. This tells us everything that's currently in rooms. This is when we're removing a guy. This is when we're adding a guy. Yeah. Oh man. Am I racing against that? I can't believe it. There's no way. No, in fact, it couldn't be possible at all. No, it's like seconds after the fact. Yeah, okay. No, it can't be that. Too bad. That'd at least be kind of fun. Give us a room. Put her over there. Moving it around. Try that a little. See what goes on. Delete everything. Put it all back. Wonder if it's related. Wonder if... No. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. I didn't redo all of the way. This is crucial this time. Maybe that's the thing. I'm not redoing all of the way, putting the pointer at the very start. Let's see. Where is the traceback? Oh, okay. Okay. Again, we're looking for that. Yeah, you only see 5 and 4. And your level's still 3. Where was the last level? Building level. Ooh. It was removed. And it didn't. Okay. Maybe this is just something stupid in. Okay, so, well, now we know what's happening. Okay, so what is it? Well, we kind of know what's happening. We don't know why it's happening. The level that contains references to all the rooms that are associated with it is getting removed. Oh, and does it come back? Mutation utils. No. Interesting. Why wouldn't you come back? You know, I don't actually think I'm doing that correctly. I might not be actually serializing this data. This is not even part of the undo packet. I'm trying to take advantage of the fact that in a room blueprint, once it comes back, we do call add room. Where do you come from? Wait a minute. I'm sure this should work, he said, not sure of anything. The stream was getting annoyed with him. Constant talking to himself, alienating him from his fans. He was sure to be fired soon. Let's see. The room blueprint does in fact go and do this on create. And that does the thing with the actual blueprint ID. That looks okay. We do this. Yeah. I'm suspicious. Okay, hold on. I gotta add some more questions. Mods. Bruno has nice mods. Bruno has very nice mods out there. And Hyrule Simple, of course. Lots of people actually have been doing a lot of really great work. Cafe mod is boss. Yes. The Arnorian biome. I do not know that one. I'm going to have to go check up on that. Don't worry, Chris. I'm not actually particularly concerned. Let's see. What is settlement? Yeah, no. What is our Arnorian biome? Okay, now you're distracting me again. Say I should be more up to date on like the stuff that you know that game that I'm working on. You heard of this game? Yeah, it's a game that I'm working. Oh, thanks Windows 10. Yeah, hey, isn't it great when you paint the screen accordingly? Arnorian biome, Stonehearth. Wow, this is actually like a little. It's not a accent aigu. Or is it circumflex? I don't even remember anymore. Let's see. Ooh. Oh, fall. That's awesome. Oh, man. Yeah, nice mountains, too. Man. Ali. Do you have a minute? No. Actually, Allie's been doing a lot of work on like biomes and stuff. Hopefully she'll get to show you that soon. Yeah, this is really nice. I like, yeah, and you got a nice split. You got the deciduous and carnivorous and, oh man. Who did this? He's not a lawyer, we keep him because he's funny. Look at him go. Wait, who is that? I feel like I should know Rick and Morty better than that. How are room IDs handled when a room subsumes a smaller room? Oh, that is room fusion. So stuff gets glommed together. I know they exist. I absolutely know they exist. I just don't see a lot of. I don't go to the. I'm sorry, I'm guilty as charged. I don't go to the discourse all that often. Might be something to do with all of the building work I've been doing and like completely heads down in. What a nice palette though. What a nice choice of colors. Especially given that it's late September. Mind you, it's super hot in Toronto right now, but like pretty soon leaves are going to start turning colors and it looks not completely dissimilar to this. We don't have any nice mountains though. I'm interested in the sub-biomes that Ali mentioned. Yeah, yes, so is Team Stonehearth. Ali is doing amazing work. Everyone is stoked to see what's going to be coming out of that. Unfortunately, it's still like a ways off. Like there's the biome work, and then there's like understanding sort of the place of all these things in Stonehearth, and then we're going to be rolling that into sort of the visual not overhaul, but visual exploration of where we think we could take Stonehearth, and like that's a huge longer conversation. And oh crap, it's 10 o'clock already. Okay. Yeah, I don't think you want to see me go into the rabbit hole that this is going to dig up. I'm a little worried that this involves like messages coming over the server that are like not getting through quite as fast as they should. I will take any last questions. I feel like we're distracting. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I put in a day earlier, a solid day's work earlier today, so I think I was okay. I bet you start to try implementing them too because it's not difficult at all. Yeah, I think probably 5 to 10 minutes, maybe 15. Yeah, no, it's actually it'll be interesting to see. Like we have some pretty powerful tools with the world generation stuff. So some things are relatively easy, and then other things are like, oh god, that's totally like orthogonal to what we designed, and it's like way too difficult, and we'll have to like actually like expend time coding. It would be cool if many voxels fell off the trees. Wait, don't we actually? Or we had that at one point. We had like the little cube emitter stuff, but they don't actually. Oh, you mean for fall? Oh. Yeah, well, I mean, there's that. There's grass. There's all those little details that we would love to have, and yeah, we're gonna figure stuff out. It's still unfortunately in the future, but yeah, stuff's getting done. All right, I think I'm gonna let you all go. I'm gonna go and beat the hell out of this tomorrow. Hopefully by the next stream, you will see a hell of a lot more and a hell of a lot of stuff sort of coming together in terms of like actually making a coherent and good-looking and fun kind of building experience. It was fun answering all your questions. Yeah, thanks for the stream. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for going and participating, asking good questions, and being enthusiastic. It's always great when you have a great audience. So, all right, I will see you guys when I see you. And I will first of all try to figure out how to turn this off. Yeah, there we go. All right, bye everyone.